Folks, now I need to shut my eyes to talk about this, and I'm just in the middle of the park in the shade, and I'm just gonna clock out in 20 minutes of my work, of my shift under the tree. Today is a perfect day. Today is Australia Day long weekend. Today is Monday. Yesterday was Australia Day. 2 days ago was the Chinese New Year. Hope everyone's going great. Not really, if once I make this video about this coronavirus. Now, the thing about this coronavirus thing is just it came in a very bad timing, especially in Chinese New Year. And this is a stage where family gathering. It's all about celebrating this Chinese New Year with your family within this 2 weeks period of time. Now, myself, I'm Australian born Chinese, and and it frustrates what my father and my auntie still wants to go back to China. My auntie does not want to cancel her flight to China, which is on the February the 11th of 2020. Today I'm speaking on the 27th of January. My father wanted to go in February because of, I think, in March, that one of his holiday house in China is completed built. So my auntie wanted to go there just to look at the teeth, but we urged her not to go. Okay, so for me to talk about this topic is more of like system theory, more of like I'm looking as a micro, macro, and global. Now, you guys been seeing lots and lots of videos out there about the coronavirus and things like that. In my opinion, I believe this will be an outbreak in the globe. Right, here's my thoughts and reason behind. Now, as an individual level, the government urge people to stay at home, and if you have to go out, just if you don't have to go out, you don't need to go out. Cancel your family meetings and your family gatherings, and just keep it within your little small family. This year is just very different. The governments are planning to extend the Chinese New Year, so things will see how it goes. Now, they claim that 8 or 13 cities has been shut down. Just recently, Shanghai has shut down, which means no fly zone and no public transport. Just a lot of gatherings and things like that. Just hope nobody's coming here. And there's another one is the way I watch the videos, and Chinese people are very smart, and you have to look at it as an individual level, in a micro level. Right now, it's gone from macro. Now it's gone through from a seafood incident to go through all the way now it is today. Let's just have a look back why this sort of exotic meat, this would happen either way. All right, it's whether it's going to happen on December as they claim, or it's going to happen in next couple weeks or whatever. Well, first things first, Chinese New Year is one of the biggest, most popular dates in China, and many Asian countries do not want to exclude Chinese. And you have many of them are like that, and plus with this African pig swine flu, it creates a lot more dynamic in a macro level, where pork prices are being imported by other parts of country that has been swine flu, where pork in China, it's skyrocketed. So when pork gets expensive, then everyone's shifted to other meats. Like pork is like the main consumption in China. Now, obviously beef and lamb, like beef is more like imported from other parts of the world. Yeah, you can have lamb, but it won't cater to that, with this population, and chicken is so expensive. So obviously they have to go through the wild meat, alright, the wild exotic meat. Now, I'm not going to name those animals because I don't want to name drop. There's no point name dropping. So they have to go through the bit of the high class tiers of food. So exotic meat has become a lot more popular their popular demand than never than before, whereas pork prices are becoming like exotic meat prices. So people are leaning towards there. Now, I'm from Australia. Now, I checked on the article yesterday that they just postponed the export of lobster to China. Now lobster to in especially during the Chinese New Year period is one of these popular dish. Let's just say to celebrate Chinese New Year with the family as well. The funny thing is about fun fact is that lobster in China that's been shipped from Australia is cheaper than have a live one over there than a live one in Australia, even though it's in our backyard's waters. But it doesn't work that way. That's a fun fact. Now, but the government stated that you stay at home and well protected, you wear a mask or goggles or whatever. As an individual, and make this problem as a private issue, not a public issue. That's what at the beginning, as they claim that people are getting arrested by spreading this type of outbreak, or perhaps doctors at the beginning gone to jail or things like that. And China never wanted to have this sort of issue into a government issue, public issue. Now I can't talk about SARS because I was 13 years old when it was an outbreak. Now I'm 20. Now I'm 30 years old. Now I can talk about this coronavirus. Chinese people are very, very smart. They'll do ways to dodge ways to get in. Now expats in China are trying to leave, or holiday makers are trying to leave as well, or tourists as well are living in China. They'll do any way to avoid getting this symptom, and they'll get on medication, avoid getting on the queue, on the wait, and things like that. And I've been hearing a lot of stories like these guys. They're taking like these medications to lower their body temperature down, so they can trick the temperature gun. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't want to use. I don't know. It's not the right wording, but guys kind of understand. Like where the government is searching individual who has a high temperature, and immediately escorted out of the public. Now Chinese people are gone out of the province from Wuhan to go to different province. Now eventually, where my province is Guangdong, which is where you guys may be familiar with Hong Kong and Macau. This province will eventually go in to lockdown zone in the near future. Don't know when, but very, very soon. That's all I can say. Many places have been locked down already. It's 8 minutes in. Let's talk even more. Now, as an individual, all of us who watch this video, and including myself, we have never experienced in our personal life as for example, SARS or mad cow disease or coronavirus or swine flu or Ebola in our life. But what I can do tell you about this, and I want you guys to close your eyes and think about this. Last year I have suffered viral gastro and one viral conjunctivitis. Now, conjunctivitis has gone to me the most killer way ever. Now, when I read through the symptoms, what's been formed on the coronavirus is the fatigue, and you got gastro, and you got this and that. I can slightly put myself in their position where I've experienced very, very severe gastro where I work in aged care. If you guys trying to think, how come I copped so much last year? So I copped so much, and I was out of work for probably 11 days or 13 days from gastro each time I have gastro. And it knocked me out cold. I stay in bed, I keep sleeping, I keep drinking waters, hydration, hydrolytes, and I can't eat proper food. I have to eat like white bread all the time. Constantly going to toilet, having diarrhea or vomit or bloating in the stomach. Like I cannot do anything for 11 days besides being a potato in my bed. And another one is conjunctivitis. Now, you can get spread by spit on the eye, so I can talk about conjunctivitis as well. Conjunctivitis was a lot worse for me. It knocked me out more than 21 days. My eyes were severe maroon red, and I did not know how to, the medicals. My local GP did not know what is the best way to optometrist. I should have took the optometrist advice, taking the right eye drops, and to recover quickly. But I went through the severe stage where I cannot see light. I get sensitive, and things like that. Now, you already put yourself in my shoes. What's it like? Could you imagine as a micro level, right, individual, as you and your family, that you're the breadwinner and you still have to pay mortgage and bills and things like that. Now, the government could say, like, look, you know what, stay at home, don't go out, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, the one is going to be the biggest hit is the banks this time. The banks is going to lose a lot of money this time because many people, their shops are not opening, are not working, and people are fear of touching meat nowadays. They're leaning to the vegetarian diet. Well, obviously, that's not going to work out when it comes to Chinese New Year. You got to have meat on the plate, and or fish on the plate, or whatever. Because of I went to those wet markets and I see how they slaughter. I've even saw how my dad urged my uncle for me to eat this bloody dish, a turtle. The way how they slaughter a turtle right in front of my eyes. Alright, and I know they don't sanitize, they don't clean, they just use water and hose it down. That's all they use, or use hot water. It's just a very brutal method of killing. But it is what it is. Every culture they have their belief on killing method or eating methods or things like that. And I'll never talk down on every culture, but I could tell you what's it going to be like. Now, number two, the expats they'll do anything, whether they have to fake the temperature or to try to get out the country and get on the plane. They'll do anything to get to that stage and fly off. Alright? Then, many of them who fly to many of the countries in the globe, I'm going to question myself a lot because all of us is showing the same amenities, the toilets on the plane or perhaps the airport terminals. I don't want to get spread, and it's so hard to control. Now, when I had gastro, I was literally so scared. Where do I go? Where do I touch? But these people, they can't, because plus there's mass population, there's mass crowd. It is hard, it's difficult. I'm telling you guys, man. And I'm gonna check my phone. What's the time before I clock out? Okay, I'll probably have to go soon after this video. And just a lot of this stuff is gone crazy. And this will definitely spread to global for sure. Because these people, most of them, unless the government has implemented and stored, these people into a quarantine room for probably 2 weeks instead of releasing them out. Now we have a news article in Australia stating that those who comes from or recent trip to China will need a doctor certificate. Now, as a parent, or you put yourself as a parent, now you got mortgage, you have bills, you have everything to be paid on. The last thing you wanted is to have a childcare for your kid, or your kid staying at home and you being out of work for the day. Now, obviously, you chuck on medication for your kids and go to school and do whatever they want. And you got bills, you got bills to pay and mortgage to pay. The banks is not going to step in. The utility company is not going to step in and say, look, you know what, you have this sort of coronavirus. We will spare you for the next couple of months, and until you get well, you get better. The banks doesn't work that way, man. Trust me. Even if you're under insurance, mortgage insurance, you'll be out of work for 2-3 months. But then again, people don't want to take if once these sort of news get taken over, many Chinese people take advantage, or I can't say Chinese people, but many people take advantage. You can't tell what's the distinguish between who's real sick and who's the real one who got the virus, and the other ones who does not have the virus. And it mixed the whole thing up. That's why the government doesn't want to do that in China, because they know the Chinese people will take advantage of the whole thing. because China doesn't have social security. The only social security is for age pension only. So it's gonna be creating a lot bigger problem in China and in the globe as well. And plus, for us Westerners or other globes, this thing is still new. And trust me, the government does not have the funding because there's too much expenditure for the government already, and to approve it straight away, unless this is gonna be status as a global issue. All right, so the global thing is gonna happen anytime soon, but I think it's too late because people are hiding it away. And there's another news article stated in China that you don't need to stay in contact or go near a person to have this sort of problem, this sickness, coronavirus. You can literally can get it. I don't know. They say airborne, and plus for my study, airborne or bloodborne, that's pretty scary, man. We've studied in my course in aged care airborne, transmitted through airborne. I understand. Like I may not have coronavirus, but those viewers out there, if you can't understand what the aged care workers like us, there was a gastro outbreak. Do you know how many workers or how many wards get spread straight away? Like I wear gloves, I wear I wear mouth mask, I wear apron. Sorry, I don't know, apron is not a good word, but I'm pretty sure you guys sort out what I'm trying to say. And go to my resident rooms and deliver food, or imagine them. I have to wash them, and you cop it's just a vomit fest, a toilet fest. The buzzers are buzzing non-stop, but that's in a controlled environment. Could you imagine that in a public setting?